Listen closely. Every time you talk to a woman, you're not just exchanging words, you're exchanging power. There's a truth most people never realize. When you begin speaking to a woman, the words you choose matter far less than the energy you carry. In the first 5 seconds, she doesn't truly hear your words. She observes, she feels, she reads every small detail you don't even notice. Your posture, your eyes, the way you sit down, even the silence between your breaths. In that brief moment, power has already been divided. Either you appear as a man whose calm presence demands her attention, or you are just another face among hundreds, easily forgotten. Picture this. You walk into a cafe. The lights are dim. Background music drifts slowly. She's sitting across from you, her eyes expectant. A faint smile touches her lips. You think if you say a few clever lines, she'll be impressed. But no, in the first 5 seconds, she doesn't hear a single thing. What she feels is energy. If you're nervous, she'll notice. If your smile is forced, she'll read it. If you're trying too hard to seem interesting, she'll smell the scent of neediness. And in that very moment, you've already placed yourself beneath her without her needing to reject you at all. The two scenes that define your fate. Picture these two scenes. Scene 1. A man walks into a date. He gives a forced smile. His eyes dart around. He sits down and instantly blurts out, "Did you wait long? Do you want to order something else?" He talks too much. He laughs too much. But all of it is just to hide his nerves. In her eyes, it's obvious he's trying way too hard. Everything in him screams, "Please like me." Scene 2. The man walks in. No rush, no fake smile. He sits down, eyes calm. He simply says, "I see you." No forced humor, no desperate need to prove anything. And that very simplicity makes her wonder, who is he? Why is he not like the others? Do you see the difference? One man talks a lot and loses all his magnetism. The other speaks very little, yet holds all the power. In the first 5 seconds, she doesn't hear a single word. She's reading you, reading your posture, reading your eyes, reading your breath. In those 5 seconds, power is already divided. Either you walk in as a man who commands her attention, or you walk in as just another forgettable figure. Machiavelli warned 500 years ago, the man who lets his emotions be controlled by others is the man who has given his power away forever. Men don't fail because of looks. They don't fail because of money. They fail because they speak from need instead of from strength. The ruthless truth about desire and control. There's a bitter paradox. Most men have no idea they destroy attraction with their own hands before it even has a chance to form. Not because they're unattractive, not because they're broke, but because they speak from submission. Picture this. A man sits across from a woman he likes. From the very first moment, he showers her with endless compliments. "You're so beautiful. You're amazing. I can't believe how lucky I am just to sit here with you." On the surface, it sounds polite, even charming. But deep in her subconscious, each of those words carries a hidden signal. He needs me more than I need him. And the moment that balance is broken, attraction dies. Listen closely. Every word you say to a woman carries an unspoken message. If you compliment too much, the message is, "I need your validation." If you always agree, the message is, "You lead, I only follow." If you never stop talking, the message is, "I'm afraid of losing you if I stay silent." She may never say out loud, but her instincts know, and her instincts are cold, ruthless, unforgiving. Machiavelli once reminded us, the one who begs for pity is never respected. The more you try to prove your value, the more you declare you don't have any. Think back to those times you've been here. Have you ever gone on a date, come home, and wondered why didn't she text back? You replay the whole night in your head and realize you did everything to make her happy, except for one thing. Make her curious about you. Here's the question for you. Have you ever seen yourself in this? If yes, comment right below. Stop begging. Write it down to remind yourself. Attraction does not live in submission. It dies there. The power of silence and the unspoken. But today, everything changes. You will learn how to speak less, yet leave her remembering you. You will learn how to let silence become a weapon, and you will walk into any conversation with the calm of a man who does not ask for permission to exist. Women don't crave logical words. They crave what forces them to imagine. You can say, "You're so beautiful. I like you." But the truth is, she has heard those lines 1,000 times. The clearer the words, the more predictable they are, the more invisible they become in her mind. Desire doesn't live in clarity. Desire lives in ambiguity, in the empty spaces that haven't yet been filled. Machiavelli once emphasized, when others must guess your intentions, you already hold the upper hand. Think back to the last time you tried too hard to keep her attention. You told a long, rambling story. You forced a laugh. You stacked compliments. And then her eyes started drifting away. Do you see yourself in that picture? If yes, comment right now. No more over-talking. Here's the truth. You don't need many words to create desire. You need intentional silences. A gaze held longer than usual. A sentence left unfinished. An ambiguity that forces her ego to chase for answers. Picture this. Two people sitting in a cafe. He leans in, speaking softly. "You make me more curious than anyone I've ever met." Then he stops, takes a sip of water, silence. In that moment, her mind spins with 100 thoughts. And the more it spins, the deeper she falls into the invisible trap. This is a language of desire, not the language of logic, but the language of suggestion, of implication, of silences that let her imagination do the rest. Next time you talk to a woman, try stopping halfway. Don't rush to explain. Leave a thought hanging. You'll see her eyes waiting. You'll see silence turn into a bridge. And right there, desire is born. If you're ready to try, comment, "I speak with silence." Because once you understand that silence itself is a language, you step into a level 90% of men will never reach. The Machiavellian art of absence and return. Most men make a fatal mistake. The moment they feel a bit of attention, they immediately start chasing. Texting nonstop, finding every excuse to call, updating social media just to be noticed. They believe the more they appear, the more they'll stay in her mind. The truth is the exact opposite. Showing up too much makes you predictable, and what's predictable is always taken for granted. Machiavelli once said, "Wise absence creates a fear stronger than constant presence." Picture this. After a first date, a man leaves a strong impression, but instead of flooding her with messages, he stays silent. One day, 2 days, she starts thinking, what is he doing? Why hasn't he reached out? Her mind begins writing the story on its own, and that emptiness becomes a mirror magnifying her curiosity. Think back to the last time you texted endlessly, waiting for a reply. You open your phone 10, 20 times a day, and the result? The more you texted, the quieter she became. Have you ever seen yourself in that situation? If yes, comment right now. No more chasing. Strategic disappearance is not a childish game. It's not ghosting out of anger. It's not silence as manipulation. It is a Machiavellian tactic. You disappear not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because you understand this space creates gravity. A real-life example. You say something ambiguous. There's something about you that pulls me in and yet feels dangerous. Then you stop. No explanation. No rush to reach out afterward. You let silence do the work. In the following days, she replays every detail. The look in your eyes, your tone, that pause, and her imagination multiplies the power of that moment. When you return, you're not just a man from a single conversation. You're the main character in the story her mind has built. Think back. Have you ever vanished from a conversation? And when you came back, she immediately asked, "Why did you take so long to text?" That is proof. Silence can weigh more than 1,000 words. If you're ready to use absence as a weapon, comment, "Silence is power." Disappearance is only half of the tactic. The other half is how you come back. Most men ruin everything at this step. After a few days of silence, they return with apologies. "I was so busy. Sorry I didn't text sooner. I was afraid you'd be mad. I thought maybe you didn't want to talk anymore." Every one of those lines reveals the same truth. You're still asking for permission to exist in her world. Machiavelli would never advise such weakness. He once wrote, "The man who returns in weakness is despised more than the one who never returned at all." So what kind of return creates power? Picture this. You leave a strong impression in the conversation. You disappear for a few days, and then one evening when she least expects it, you send, "Just heard a song. It reminded me of you," or "had a strange dream. Not sure if I should tell you yet." Short, ambiguous, no apologies, no explanations, just a spark of mystery. In that moment, her mind ignites with questions. Why did he think of me? Why so vague? What was a dream? She is pulled back in, not because you chased her, but because her own imagination bound her to you. Think back to the last time you rushed your return. You sent a flood of messages. You explained your silence. You feared losing your place. And the result? The more you explained, the more you lost the mystery. The more you explained, the more predictable you became. Have you ever been there? If yes, comment. No more weak returns. Remember, in the court it is pressed, because one weak return can destroy everything you built. A powerful return isn't about how many words you use. It's about planting a question and letting her answer it in her own mind. One ambiguous text can be stronger than 10 paragraphs of explanation. One calm smile upon meeting again can leave a deeper mark than 1,000 apologies. A real-life example. A man had met a woman a few times. He always stayed composed, never rushing. After a week of silence, he returned with one message. "You just crossed my mind." Dangerous, really. The line was not clear, but it was enough for her to think about in the entire evening. This is Machiavellian art. You don't need to chase to be remembered. You become the memory that repeats in her mind through a return done with intent. Next time you want to send a long message explaining yourself, stop. Ask yourself, am I seeking validation, or am I creating mystery? If the answer is validation, delete that message immediately. If you're ready to return as a Machiavellian man, comment, "I return with power." Remember this. Anyone can come back, but only a few know how to return like a cold wind that makes others shiver. And those men are the ones who can never be forgotten. The prize is self-possession. You just travel a long path. From the very first moment you open your mouth to the art of silence, the strategy of disappearance, and the power of the return, each lesson orbits one simple truth. Attraction does not live in words. It lives in the power you keep inside. Women don't remember every sentence you say, but they remember the feeling you leave behind. If you make them curious, they will think of you when you're gone. If you plant a question with no easy answer, their mind will come back searching for you. If you hold your calm, even when tested, you become an untamable paradox. Machiavelli wrote, "The man who is respected is the one who never lets another hold power over his emotions." That is the essence of attraction. Not looks, not money, but the ability to master yourself. Ask yourself this. Will you continue to be the man who speaks from need, or will you become the man who speaks from strength? If you are ready, comment now, "I am the prize." Not for me to see, but for you to carve into your mind that from today you stop asking permission to exist in anyone's world. And this is only the beginning. In the next video, I will reveal a Machiavellian strategy that makes not only women, but anyone, friends, colleagues, rivals, play by your rules. Don't miss it.